All right, so got some angle terminology here from yesterday. So it says, give two other coterminal angles measures to go to coterminal angle measures of a 100-degree angle. In other words, what are other equivalent numbers that would give you the same terminal side? So we would know that a 100-degree angle, 90 would take us to here, so 100 is going to be roughly here. So here's 100 degrees. Other acceptable names for that is if you go clockwise, it's negative. So negative, and then if you just subtract this from 360, that would be negative 260. So negative 260 would be the negative angle measure. And then also, you can take this and add any multiple of 360 to it. So obviously the easiest would be to just be 460. Would also be another possible number. But you could add 720 because that's, two 360s and so on. And those would be other possible angle measures that you could use. All right. It says, what is the reference angle of a 100-degree angle? So we've got our 100-degree angle here. Remember, reference angle is when you drop it down to the x-axis, makes a right angle. What is this angle? Well, since this part's 100, and together they have to add up to 180, it's always going to be the supplement of the whatever angle it actually is, the 100. So in this case, it's going to be 80 degrees. And then the final question, what would the xy coordinate be of the unit circle of a 100-degree angle? So that's saying, what would this coordinate right here be? X comma y. And remember, those x is just, this is the x, and this is the y. So in this case, we can calculate those using sine and cosine, because remember, it says on the unit circle, which is where this is going to be 1. So if you do sine of 80, that's going to be y over 1, which is just y. So sine of 80 is going to give you the y. And if you do cosine of 80, that's going to be the x over 1. So cosine of 80 is going to give you the x. All right, so we typed those both in. We're going to probably get some decimals on these. Make sure we're good. All right, so sine of 80 is 0.985. We'll just go 3 decimals on these. And cosine of 80 is 0.174. Now, you do have to think just a tiny bit here as to the signs of these, right? Because the x needs to be negative, the y is positive. So the specific coordinate would be negative 0.174 and 0.985. So that would be our x and y coordinate that we'd come up with that would make this angle. As far as deciding the negatives and positives, that's simply based off where it's located. Since we're in the second quadrant, our x is negative, but our y is positive. If it was down in the third quadrant, our x would be negative and our y would be negative. So you just got to think logically about which signs these should have on them based on where the points are located.